নিউরোসাইকোলজি ইজ দ্য মোস্ট ইম্পর্টেন্ট ব্রাঞ্চ এবং নিউরোসাইকোলজিক্যাল অ্যাসেসমেন্ট আমাদের এক্ষেত্রে আমরা অ্যাজ এ ইন আওয়ার ক্লিনিক্যাল প্র্যাকটিস দ্য রেলিভেন্স অফ নিউরোসাইকোলজিক্যাল টেস্টিং আমরা কেন করব এবং এই টেস্টিংটা আমাদের কিভাবে ইট উইল এনরিচ ইন আওয়ার ক্লিনিক্যাল প্র্যাকটিস শুধুমাত্র সিমটম অ্যানালিসিস বা বোঝার জন্য নয় এখন কগনিটিভ রিমিডিয়েশন সেই প্রসেসটা একটা অত্যন্ত ইম্পর্টেন্ট পার্ট অফ থেরাপি পার্টিকুলারলি ফর ফাংশনাল রিকভারি এখন তো দেখা যাচ্ছে যে যেটা হচ্ছে ইলনেস থেকে ওয়েলনেস মডেল এবং খুব একটা ইন্টারেস্টিং আমি একজনের কাছ থেকে শুনে এলাম যেটা খুব ইন্টারেস্টিং বলছেন যে ক্লোরপ্রোমাজিনের আবিষ্কার 1953 সালে আমরা বলি যে একটা হিউজ রেভলিউশন তো তাতে ন্যান্সি অ্যান্ডারসন বলছেন যে পসিবলি এটা আমাদেরকে হিস্ট্রিতে অনেকটা পিছিয়ে দিয়েছে তার কারণ যে সিজোফ্রেনিয়া অ্যাকচুয়ালি যে অসুখটা যেখানেতে তার ফান্ডামেন্টাল সিমটমসের মধ্যে হচ্ছে কগনিটিভ সিমটমস এবং নেগেটিভ সিমটমস এবং আমরা ওই পজিটিভ সিমটমস ডোপামিন হাইপোথিসিস নিয়ে এমনভাবে একটা দিকে চলতে শুরু করলাম তার ফলে এই যে দিকগুলো নেগেটিভ সিমটমস এবং কগনিটিভ সিমটমস এটা চাপা পড়ে গেল এখন একটা রিসার্জেন্স হয়েছে যে মানুষ বোঝার চেষ্টা করছে যে এইগুলোর প্যাথোফিজিওলজি এবং দেখো এই DSM-5 নিয়ে আমরা যখন আলোচনা করব সেখানে ডায়াগনস্টিক ক্রাইটেরিয়াতে নেগেটিভ সিমটমস কগনিটিভ সিমটমস এবং সেগুলোর অ্যাসেসমেন্ট এসে গেছে এখন সেগুলো আমরা আসবো পরে চলো তোমার শুরু করো
হ্যালো
এই মোবাইলগুলো কিন্তু সব ভাইব্রেটার মোডে সাইলেন্ট মোডে করো আর যদি কারোর নেওয়া হয় বাইরে বাইরে গিয়ে হ্যাঁ
Good afternoon, everybody. And many thanks, Dr. Chaudhary, for giving us the opportunity to me and my team for giving this, discussing the topic with everybody out here. আমাকে ডক্টর চৌধুরী বলেছিলেন বলতে কগনিটিভ রেমিডিয়েশন ইন ক্লিনিক্যাল প্র্যাকটিস বাট ইফ ইউ ক্যান সি I've used the term cognitive rehabilitation in clinical practice rather than cognitive remediation in clinical practice. And আজকের সেশন আমি সেটাই ডিসকাস করব যে why I prefer to use the term rehabilitation rather than remediation because often the terms remediation, retraining, rehabilitation are often used very loosely. So we would like to say, are they synonymous? Are they the same thing or they are completely different things? So what is the whole purpose? Now there are a host of neurological and psychiatric disorders which are associated with significant cognitive impairment. So there are few which are degenerative and there are some which are reversible. So basically we target remediation or rehabilitation in those reversible, irreversible cases. For example, in case of head injury, in case of those with multiple sclerosis, a প্রচুর কাজ হচ্ছে বিদেশে with cognitive rehabilitation, which we don't have the scope out here. And also patients with psychosis, কিছু কাজ আরম্ভ হয়েছে for remediation. So what is the whole idea behind remediation or rehabilitation? Is it to restore the lost functioning, which we can expect in patients with head injury? Or is our target to bring about some reorganization in the anatomical structure because we all know about the neural plasticity which happens after head injury or after a stroke. So there is some tendency for the neuroanatomical reorganization to take place immediately after a head injury or a stroke, or we don't attempt to restore or to anatomically reorganize, but whatever existing cognitive capacities are still in the patient, should we help the patient to use those residual skills more efficiently? Or do we need to target the first three at all, or rather bring about changes in the environment which will help the patient to lead a more effective life in spite of his cognitive deficits? So what is remediation or retraining? Now cognitive remediation aims to restore cognitive deficits through training exercises. There are different sorts of training exercises and it is very helpful for specific cognitive impairments like attention, spatial inattention and reading. So they target only the cognitive deficit. These cognitive remediation or retraining do not take into account the patient's emotional, behavioral changes, the premorbid functioning of the individual, the environment in which the individual is. They just target the cognitive function. For example, if there is an attention deficit, there are lots of computerized programs through which they try to restore the lost functions. So it helps to improve the functioning of those people with deficits. And in the next presentation, which my colleague Shubha will show you, how different cognitive remediation processes like drill and practice, strategy coaching, and different ways to compensate work around the limitations works in patients with psychosis or schizophrenia, but not in patients with head injury or stroke or any other neurological disorders. So there are two types of cognitive remediation programs. Some are computerized and some are non-computerized. Now, none of these cognitive remediation, the computerized programs are not available in our country. And whatever we have discussed with my colleagues abroad also, we find that these are really not socially and culturally appropriate for our culture. Because our people are really not used to using the computers, or they don't have the mindset which is very essential. So these are very culturally loaded and we are also not used. And also there are non-computerized cognitive remediation programs, which again Shubha will discuss. So now what is cognitive rehabilitation? So cognitive rehabilitation is more broad, right? It involves a broad range of behavioral techniques that helps patients with cognitive deficits regardless of the etiology. It incorporates alleviation of emotional, behavioral and motor consequences resulting from head injury. So what happens, cognitive rehabilitation is basically an umbrella term. It just does not target the cognitive impairment. It takes into account what the patient's premorbid functioning was, what his social environment is, what are the changes which has happened following head injury, because these are very important, particularly the patient's insight and motivation, which often gets affected following a stroke or a head injury or some other sort of neurological disorder. So basically, cognitive rehabilitation does not target only the cognitive function, but in order to bring about improvement in the cognitive function, they try to incorporate behavioral and emotional changes which are associated with head injury, and also the environment in which the individual is living. So the major aim of rehabilitation is to enable people to participate in valued activities which may be related to his work, education, leisure, social and independent living. So it is, what is valuable to me may not be valuable to some other person. So we really cannot force something onto a patient. We have to involve the patient completely in the program and find out what is valuable to him, whether it is his work, education or leisure and so on. And accordingly we have to plan the program. Very recently in March, we were very fortunate to have people from Cambridge, Barbara Wilson and Jonathan Evans, Barbara Wilson is actually the pioneer in cognitive rehabilitation, and she was the one who opened the Oliver Zangwill Center with her PhD student then, Jonathan Evans. So we get to read her definitions, her principles, which are very valuable. And I'm very fortunate to have them as my mentors now, because we have just started doing cognitive rehab. So honestly, I really don't know much about cognitive rehab, but I've started taking their feedback so that I know that I'm going along the right lines. So I have laid down the principles which have been laid down by them. So the core components of neuropsychological rehabilitation, their model is a very, very holistic model. That there should be a therapeutic milieu, there should be shared understanding. I will go into each of these. Meaningful goal-directed activities, learning how to use different compensatory mechanisms, not only cognitive remediation, that is cognitive remediation or